got a couple things on my mind. First thing is, I was thinking about my son, right, and how he's became the productive young man that I always wanted to raise, and I'm glad he, turned out well. God bless him, and he's doing well. I remember going back about almost 20 some odd years ago when my son was born, and I told my folks about his birth. And here's the weird part. I remember mentioning to my dad about his birth. And, he said one of the oddest things I ever heard anybody say, about the coming of his new grandchild. When I told him about that, and he was working there, so it wasn't about money. But it was like, well, I guess I gotta go get a flight. It was like he had no fucking interest in being there for a grandchild. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. You may have had an issue with me because of things that was going on between you and my mom. But this was your grandchild. This is the birth of a grandchild, okay? My firstborn son. Really my firstborn child, but it's a long story. But it's just the fact that you didn't even take it seriously enough. Like, well, I guess I gotta go get a flight. I'm like, really? So, and that was already a disappointment enough as it was, And of course, 3 months later, I drove myself and my wife and my son, and I'm not gonna say risk his health. It was wintertime. We did clear with the doctor, but driving up there and got stuck in the snowstorm that same week on the way back from Cleveland. It pissed me off. It pissed me off so bad. That my dad didn't even want to take the time to come visit my family and celebrate the birth of my first son. The birth of my first child, really. It was just fucked up. Okay, flash forward to about 18 years later. Okay. My son get ready to graduate high school. Of course, Dad saying, well, I'm going to be down there, I'll let you know. And then he turned around, because of my mom separated. And then the next day he's talking about, well, I was waiting for her, and the next thing you know, she was gone. Why that time it sounded like a load of shit? And I'm going to be honest. I mean, I'm not disrespecting my dad, but it's just the way I feel about it, So, fast forward 4 years later, and my son graduates college. All right? I actually told my dad when he was graduating and all that, and even then it wasn't about money because I was going to take care of the cost, And of course he tell me, well, I don't know, I'll let you know. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, you didn't want to go see him when he was born because you were talking about, I guess I gotta get a flight. Never got the flight. Then I drive up 3 months later after my son was born to go visit his grandparents and risk get stuck out in snowstorm. Okay, that's another story. All right, so 2010 he graduates from high school. All right, somehow or another he was waiting on my mother, even though him and my mother was split up or whatever. He didn't have to wait on. He was just making excuses, which sounded like a load of shit to me. Then flash forward to 2014 when my son graduated from college. All right. And this time, like, oh, I got, I don't know. I'll let you know. I'm like, let me know. I need to know something soon. Never called. All right. Never was concerned about going. He never had no concern about going at all. Of course, my brother was saying, well, you should go ahead and buy a ticket. No, I'm not going to go and just buy a ticket now. You got to make the commitment to go. I don't spend that kind of money on anybody, including my folks, unless you make the damn commitment. Okay? And I ain't even explaining my brother. It happened 2 other times before when he made commitments he did keep. Wasn't the first time this happened. Okay? So, not only did he do it to me, he did it to all the other grandkids too. He did it to other grandchildren. He didn't go to any of their graduates. None of them. Not even make an effort at all. And to me, it's almost like, and I told my wife, I said, it's more like if the spotlight is not on him, he feels like, he's being slighted. But the spotlight didn't need to be on you because it wasn't about you. It was about your grandchildren. It's about your grandson. It just amazes me, man. Y'all just get really, really pissed off about it. At some point, you gotta let go of old shit and move along with your life, man. That's all there is to it. And it really hurt me, man. It disappointed me. It made me very sad. I'm still sad by it. Because you missed out on all of that time, those times. You didn't think it was a big deal. It was a big deal to me. Plus my son was the first kid, in my family to graduate after completing all 4 years of college. Okay? That's what made it so bad. That's what made it so bad. And I was really, really hurt by that. Because I thought if there was ever a time he'd be there, that would be it. All of a sudden, it's not a big deal to him. It's a big deal to me. That's all that matters. But it just hurt me that, he just didn't take any pride in it. He just never took pride. Just like, it just hurt me. I mean, it really hurt me to almost, at one time it did hurt me to the point, I ain't gonna lie, it really did. It made me very, very sad, man. And this is why I'm bringing up the subject about black parents, man. What is with you guys, man? You wonder why your kids aren't productive in what they need to be doing. You wonder why our kids don't excel the way it's supposed to. This is 3 reasons why. Okay? 3 good reasons why. Because we don't get that support that we should. And until you start, people ain't gonna give a fuck about you. It's really sad. I mean, here it is. For years, my dad all he talked about was, yeah, you gotta hit the books. Okay? And I hit the books. I didn't really hit it like I want to where I could graduate from a 4-year college, but on another podcast, I will explain exactly why. Because again, this is just as much to do with lack of parental support. See, parental support doesn't necessarily mean feed and clothe. You can feed and clothe anybody. Okay? And you can feed and clothe your kids all day long. If you're not giving the nurturing, loving support that they need, it means nothing. It means nothing. And I'm here to tell you the truth. It means nothing if you don't give them that. That's all I'm here to say about that. But was I a perfect parent? No. Was I a stern parent? Yeah, I was. I ain't gonna lie. But I gave my son 110% of my full support to him. I really did. My son, whatever my son wanted to do, I was always in full, me and his mom, full support in whatever he wanted to do. Wasn't so much like that when I grew up. Wasn't so much like that when I needed the support at times. that I need to get the nurturing and love. That didn't always happen. Most time it didn't happen a lot. But all I'm saying is we need to be those kind of parents. I know one time, where's this fool waiting on? Stop picking your nose and drive. Come on, man. What the fuck? You gonna let three other cars get in front of your ass? You said picking boogers at you. Anyway, but for some reason, black parents don't feel they have to be that way to their kids. I'm not saying Colin. Colin is different between Colin and nurturing. Nurturing is more like, hey, show the kids the right way to do things without having to jump down their throats. That's nurturing. Colin is, you made a mistake, baby. Nah. That's babying. Kids gonna make mistakes. Don't baby them. Especially when they get older. But just saying though. And I think we think that's trying to be culturally indifferent when you're doing that. All right, I give you an example. My dad, he wasn't really much of playing, sports with me, when I was a kid, like I was my son. And he used to tell me, playing ball is blah, blah, white man and all. He actually said something crazy like that one time. And I was like, really? And yet years later, he was the first one to say, why you didn't play football? Which I did. But I didn't play football. I didn't play high school football or anything like that. I didn't play organized sports like that. I did play. The only time organized sport I did play was basketball, and that was in elementary school. But that was about it. But anyway, it was more to do. Years later, let's put it like this. Years later, he complained about me not doing that. And then he was telling me about, he was bragging about this guy that I supposedly went to school with. I forgot the guy's name. I think I knew him, but I don't recall it. And he was saying, he went to the NFL and all that, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I could have had a football player for a son. So he just totally just shot me down. Verbally shot me down. I thought, really? So you basically just saying you wasn't proud of me. Because I couldn't get you what you wanted. I said, ain't that a bitch? I couldn't get you what you wanted as a son because you felt that I should have been bringing home the bacon for you. In other words, I should have been making enough money to sustain my life, my lifestyle, and yours. As a matter of fact, my dad said a few years later, he's like, well, I'm accustomed to a certain lifestyle. I'm like, really? Yeah, he actually said that. So that's my problem because you're accustomed to a certain lifestyle, not because you just need enough to, you need to just to be able to sustain what you need to sustain. I just kind of feel like, it's in a way it's kind of a selfish moment, but it's just a lot of crazy stuff, man. I said, black parents, that's where y'all need to grow up. I mean, it's 2016. You need to grow up like yesterday, like yesterday's news. Grow the fuck up. Be more supportive of your children, man. Be there for your kids, man. Be the parent. Be the better parent that your parent weren't to you. Let me put it like that. Because our kids need their parents. You don't need no guys going around making 4 or 5 babies talking about, I'm a daddy. I got into it with a guy about almost 2 years ago saying that stupid shit on Facebook. And I mentioned before. And women were defending him. That's what I like, really? That was the stupidest thing I ever heard. Dude was complete simp. But anyway, that's why I just had to get it out of my chest. So just think about it, man. Don't be the better parent that your parent wasn't to you. Be the parent that your children need from you that your parent wasn't to you. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Any questions or comments or anything I've talked about, please feel free to email me foralltohere@gmail.com. foralltohere at outlook.com. For all to hear on YouTube and for all to hear on Twitter. It's DJ Wolf. Talk to you later.